How does intersectionality impact education? Have you ever thought about how a student's experience in school can be shaped by many different factors? Intersectionality is a framework that helps us understand this complexity. It looks at how various social identities, like race, gender, class, and sexuality, come together to create unique experiences of both privilege and discrimination. In education, this means that students do not face challenges based on just one identity but rather through the combination of their overlapping identities. From an anthropological viewpoint, which studies human cultures and social structures, intersectionality reveals how educational systems reflected broader social inequalities. For instance, race and gender cannot be analyzed separately from class or disability when we look at educational access and success. One major way intersectionality impacts education is through differential access and barriers. Students who belong to multiple marginalized groups, like low-income students of color or LGBTQ+ students with disabilities, often face greater obstacles to quality education. These barriers can include discrimination, lack of culturally relevant teaching materials, and insufficient support services. Another important aspect is curriculum and representation. Often, educational content focuses on the experiences of privileged groups. Intersectionality highlights the need for a curriculum that recognizes diverse identities and histories. This helps students feel represented and valued in their learning environment. Classroom dynamics also play a role. Teachers' perceptions can be influenced by stereotypes associated with race, gender, and class. These biases can affect how students engage and perform in school. By understanding intersectionality, educators can become more aware of these biases and adjust their teaching methods to support all students fairly. Educational policies often tackle discrimination in isolated categories, like gender or race alone. Intersectionality shows us that policies need to consider how multiple identities overlap to create unique challenges. This ensures that interventions are more effective and inclusive. Finally, students from their identities within educational settings that can either affirm or marginalize who they are. Intersectionality helps us understand how these experiences influence students' self-esteem, sense of belonging, and motivation to succeed academically. Applying intersectionality in education means creating inclusive curricula that reflected various identities and histories. It also involves training educators to recognize and respond to the complex identities of their students. Policies should address overlapping forms of discrimination rather than treating each identity category separately. Support systems should consider the whole student, including their social, cultural, and economic backgrounds. Anthropology's focus on culture and social relations enriches our understanding of intersectionality by emphasizing how local contexts shape educational experiences. It also encourages us to pay attention to power dynamics within schools and society that affect how identities are formed and experienced. In summary, intersectionality reveals that educational inequality cannot be fully understood without considering how multiple identities combine to influence students' experiences and opportunities. This approach promotes a more just educational system that acknowledges and values diversity in all its forms.